Hey, this is Notser, and today we're taking a look at the Tier 9 Pan-Asian light cruiser Sejong in a rank battle. And this is Silver League, so tiers 8 and 9 exclusively. I spent basically a day on stream playing in Silver League with this ship and winning 90% of the games with this build. So I am a believer of it, and no, it's not a torpedo build. I talked about that a couple weeks ago. It just doesn't work as well as this build does. And speaking of the build, main armament mod 1, steering and propulsion, protection, aiming system mod 1, acceleration, concealment, improved main battery reload. For the commander, incoming fire alert, focus fire AA, adrenaline rush, concealment, radiolocation, inertia fuse high explosive, and high explosive damage increase. So those last two skills, very reminiscent. Honestly, the full commander build is very reminiscent of the Dido build that I talked about a couple days ago. It really works very, very well. These super light cruisers get so much from those 7 points that it's hard to argue with it. It pretty much is expected through playing that's going to ultimately end up being the one that gets you the most success, and that's definitely my impression. I tried, guys. I tried so hard to make the torpedoes work, but in awkward matchups, you just are always outclassed by DDs that it's hard to get into a good position to send your torpedoes. Now, there are, of course, situations where you can, but those are not as consistently available every single game as this position would be. Just firing over an island at enemies that happen to be close to you. Because obviously, they need to capture the base. And we get a really cool position advantage right here. I can actually hit this cruiser who is attempting to capture B point. And if he doesn't want to move, that's fine. We're just going to keep harassing him until he does. So he has to bail on the cap attempt. The enemy DD decided to go A, whereas mine decided to go C. So a little bit of an asymmetrical tactical decision there. But this position has been fantastic so far. We've able to easily fire on multiple enemy ships. Pretty much there's always something spotted that's in range, save for this exact moment. But we don't have to rely on sitting in smoke. And what is this that I did? We have like two battleships arguing over real estate just south of the enemy. In like the worst possible situation, and I just can't understand. Why are you guys making the game hard on yourself? There's no point in doing that. If someone is in your way and you're right in front of the enemy, settle it quickly and then deal with the enemy. You don't want to just keep arguing over real estate. But we're still trying to fire on these enemy ships that are visible nearby, and this one enemy ship finds a little bit of a gap that causes me to have to use smoke, otherwise I'll be spotted for too long. And I'll tell you, this is a really effective build, but super lights, especially like the Pan-Asian light cruisers, everyone loves to shoot them. So if you are visible for too long, and I'm just looking at it, look at the spam in chat, and just roll my eyes. Thankfully, the first two sets of torpedoes they avoid, but there's a third set from a different ship, and it's right on target, and oh no. One of the two ships dies, the Marco Polo. I don't know why the Marco Polo was so far forward. I don't know why either one of those battleships were fighting over real estate. Like, just survive. Like, you're not helping. You're not helping if you're dead. If you feel like you're right and he's wrong, okay, but give ground so you live to fight another day. That's more important than being right there. Regardless, we're farming in this position. Enemies are moving around the map because they have A, but they don't have B, and they're kind of frustrated by that, so they're maybe attempting to assist the cruiser who has taken a significant amount of damage. And we're 5 minutes in, and we've already racked up 53,000 damage. I can promise you, 5 minutes in, with a torpedo build, you would not rack up 50, 60,000 damage unless you got like a perfect torpedo attack. And that's not going to happen, save for maybe once every 30, 50 games. But this enemy cruiser easily spotted right in front of us. We're firing our guns, and friendly helps knock him out. And we lose our friendly battleship. We actually lost both of those friendly battleships, by the way. Both of the battleships that had a disagreement over space are now already dead. Super, super frustrating. Like, completely unnecessary. However, I can't really deal with that at this point, so I've got to decide what is the best course now. A lot of enemies have moved outside of my effective gun range. Some of you might be saying, whoa, why didn't you go range on slot 6 instead of rate of fire? The shells are so floaty that, honestly, good luck hitting at max range unless they're stationary, which they could totally be, but most targets are not going to be stationary. So I decide, okay, it's been enough time. Let's move forward and attempt to capture a point. I have my smoke charge, which if I feel uncomfortable, I can activate. And there is an enemy battleship that's showing up, but we've got to switch. We got to kill this Fletcher. Every second that he's spotted is a second that we could potentially knock him out. And first salvo does a ton of damage. Second salvo nearly kills him. Third salvo actually does. And we've got a couple enemies looking at us. But we have successfully moved into the capture. And now I'm just going to contribute against this enemy cruiser. But everyone's falling so fast. This is one of those games where it's like 7 minutes in and 50% of all ships are already dead. It's like, wow. I know I'm contributing a lot to it. 85,000 already. We are so on track. If this was a random battle, we could probably farm like 240,000 damage by the end of this. Since it's rank, there's only so much health to go around. And this enemy cruiser, he's trying desperately to avoid taking the final damage from either me or our friendly. He's kind of line of sighted. One of my friendlies, who happens to be on the other side of that island. And the enemy still hasn't actually captured B, which is great. Now you might be going, well, you're spotted, Notser. Why don't you activate your smoke? In some situations, the angle of fire available to the enemy doesn't really require that you use it. And with my build, I had to forego Superintendent, so I don't have as many smoke chargers as I would hope for. But we did catch sight. The FDG, he's moving up. Any second now, he's going to contest A, and there's the hydroacoustic. So now we have to decide, okay, how are we going to deal with this? Well, we have deep water torpedoes. Easily use them against him. But he does have hydro, so he will see them coming. Friendlies on the east side, they take out the Neptune. Unfortunately, we do lose our DD. It would have been beneficial if he would have survived. I don't know the reason why he died, but he's dead. And we have to try to get some kills, because as fast as we are damaging the enemy, our teammates are dying faster. So I place myself near this Spartan helmet, and we're going to fire over the island. Hydroacoustic does move into a little bit closer position, so that would communicate, plus radiolocation, that he is considering rotating around the island and pushing me. So I am attempting to get some distance so I'm not detected by hydroacoustic, so the enemy doesn't know exactly what I'm doing. Unfortunately, the only friendlies that are left on the map, they don't have crossfire angle or vision. So both me and my friendly battleship are basically hiding behind the same island. And I don't know about you, I don't know any super light cruiser that wants to openly take damage. I'll die from like people just looking in my direction, so I'm definitely not interested in that. And FDG, he's definitely pushing up. So I decided to send torpedoes, and I also decided to switch to AP. And he's gonna have his back guns firing on us. Please overpen. Which he does. And I did switch to AP, and I'm firing in the midship, and I'm not really impressed. I think firing AP on the nose would have been better in those salvos, or switching to high explosive and going super. But he obviously recognizes the torpedoes because he does have hydro up, so he's backing up. He doesn't want to take the torpedo, and I just want to avoid. Ooh, we got a little lucky there. Most of the shells went to the port side of our ship, but we are, getting enough contest This is just a defender ribbon farming machine. I get most of my battles, I'm top XP. If I don't have the most damage, I have the most defender ribbon. I have maybe high caliber pretty much every game. It has been a shocking development to me that this is this effective with this build versus the torpedo build that they recommend. The torpedo build that they recommend would lead you to believe that this ship and the line itself is complete garbage. Nice try, FTG. The Musashi wasn't going to fall for that. He located and knocked that guy out, and now it's just me against 2 battleships. But I do have the right tools for this, other than spotting. So I'm going to wait their aggression. I'm going to send torpedoes staggered to dissuade any pushing. Obviously the FTG does not have hydro up yet. We catch one of them as he's rounding the corner, and of course it's the Musashi. And thank God for overpin. Oh man, I am trying to run away as quickly as I can. Now I actually end up making a big mistake here, because I assume that I cannot pop my smoke because I'm too close. And oh, we caught him! But if I pop my smoke in this situation, it would have been a brilliant play. As it stands, we ended up dying, and those torpedoes were that close to taking him out. But just a little bit of a misplay after the fact, hindsight. I had the chance. I didn't realize he was 2.5 and not 2, and I was just, stressed, obviously. But we ended up doing 220,000 damage. We outscore the entire enemy team without the 1.5 times modifier for the win. Clearly, we were dominating, and clearly we should have gotten that win. But hey, it was entertaining. It was fun. I showed off a really great build in the Sejong. Hopefully you guys can take that if you've got a Pan-Asian Light and apply it to that and use similar tactics and succeed. Because they definitely can succeed. I like the torpedoes, but I don't like over-investing in them. Whereas the guns, over-investing in them just generate more damage. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. You can subscribe to my channel. I stream at twitch.tv/Notser. Thank you and have a wonderful day.